What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Big Brother Talks episode 2. The topic for today is self-love is the reason why you are not happy. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds like a hot topic. Please reserve your judgment and criticism of me. Please don't hate me. I just started this video. Please allow me to further explain myself as we go deeper into the video. But I do have some housekeeping items, some ground rules, so you guys can get a full understanding and context of my videos. I like to call it my quid pro quos. It's a Latin term. It means I do something for you guys do something for me. Obviously, I'm doing something for you guys by sharing this video. All I ask for you guys to do something for me, can you please respect these 3 ground rules? Rule number 1, just understand that a lot of the things I talk about in these videos comes from my own personal experiences of things I've gone through in my life. So this is my unique perspective and my unique opinion on a lot of these topics. Rule number 2, generalization. When I talk about a lot of these topics, I am not generalizing all men and women, but I do understand from my personal experiences and my observations on a lot of these topics, it happens to a majority of men and women that I've seen in my life. But I do understand it doesn't happen to all men and women, and of course, it may not imply to you. I want to make sure we're on the same page with that. And then rule number 3, intentions. Just understand a lot of the topics I talk about in this video, my purpose of these videos is to encourage, empower, and uplift people so they can grow to be their best. I'm not here to discourage, degrade, or put people down, but just like talking to your older sibling, as your older brother, I'm gonna keep it real, I'm gonna keep it honest, and I'm gonna keep it funky. All right, I do realize in today's culture, a lot of people are seeking the truth, but they can't handle to take the truth. All right, so like I said, it's up to you. You can disagree, you can reject it, you can disregard it. Hey, and that's okay. But just like your older brother, just like your older sibling, everything I'm gonna say to you is gonna be real, and everything I say to you is out of love. So make sure we're all good with that. All right, so let's get right into it. Self-love is the reason why you are not happy. The reason why I say that is because I truly believe in today's culture and social media, a lot of people are not utilizing self-love in the correct way so they can heal and move forward with their life. A lot of people in today's culture are using self-love as a way to defend themselves, to mask and hide the fact they're still unhappy, to justify their negative traits and behaviors, and free themselves of any accountability to change themselves. One of my favorite motivational speakers out there is Gary Vee. He always says, in order to succeed, you have to play offense, you can't play defense. To succeed, you have to play offense. You have to attack and move towards your goals and dreams. You can't play defense and remain as you are and put up these emotional walls and expect life and success to come to you. And sadly, in today's culture and social media, a lot of people are hiding behind self-love and just playing defense and wonder why they can't attract happiness into their life. Look, I'm a big advocate for self-love because what self-love teaches you, if utilized correctly, is the ability to be intentional with your life. Self-love teaches you to attack, to be intentional, to decide your happiness. Even in the midst of all the chaos and pain, you make the hard choice to become a happy person. Look, it's easy to be negative and remain the same. It's harder to be positive and make a change. And that's the problem with today's culture and social media. So many people have convinced themselves that they are healing or have healed and hide behind self-love. They either write self-love on their bio, they either project their social media life that they're loving themselves and they're happy. For women, I don't need no man, I'm happy being single. All of a sudden they post half-naked pictures of themselves online, and all of a sudden they're traveling the world and living their best life. For men, all women are not loyal. All of a sudden they're sleeping with all these types of women, and all of a sudden they want to get their bread up, they want to get their money up because they think that's what's going to attract the right woman into their life. In public, it looks like they're happy, but in reality, behind closed doors, they're as negative, they're as toxic, and they're as unhappy as ever. It's sad to say that I see this all the time on social media. But before we go deeper into the video, I want to provide to you guys 3 ways you can recognize that you haven't healed in your self-love journey. I learned this through Stefan Speaks. He's a certified dating and relationship coach. You guys should follow him and go check him out. But here are 3 ways you can recognize that you haven't healed in your self-love journey. Number 1, you're still carrying the negative perceptions based from your experience. A lot of men and women do this all the time. After they have a failed relationship, they're still carrying these negative perceptions of why that experience didn't work out. For women, all men are trash. For men, all women are hoes. They're still carrying these negative perceptions, and that's why they struggle for attracting the right love and the right relationship back into their life. So in order to know you have healed, you have to have positive perceptions when it comes to love, success, and happiness. And we see this all the time on social media. A lot of people post about this negative perception. A lot of people post this negative energy. And a lot of people encourage and pass on this negative energy all throughout social media. And the people who carry this negative energy, they struggle and they can't figure out why they can't attract a relationship and why they can't attract love, happiness, success into their life. Number two, you're afraid to be vulnerable again. A lot of men and women do this. After they've been hurt or after a bad experience, they build up these emotional walls and they don't want to allow anyone back into their life, and they wonder why they can't attract a relationship or they can't attract real love into their life. They don't realize the same walls you build up to protect your heart, to protect you from sadness, is the same walls is going to protect you from happiness. You have to understand that in order to attract love, you have to give love. You can't expect somebody to open up and give you their heart and their love, but you're unwilling to open up your heart and give the same love back to them. Remember, when it comes to life, it's all about reciprocation. Remember, you can't attract love with fear. You can only attract love with love. Number three, you can freely talk about that experience without getting triggered by it. A lot of people in today's culture and social media claim to have healed, but when they start talking about that experience or they start talking about that person, you can start to see that negative energy start to come out and they're still bothered by it. And oftentimes, a lot of people have the misperception to believe that if they move away from that person, if they don't think about that person, if they don't talk about that person, that means they have healed. But that's not the case. It's okay to talk about that person. It's okay to talk about that experience. It's okay to talk about your past if you're at peace with it. If you're still emotionally attached to that experience, if you're still triggered by it, then that's a sign that you haven't healed and you need to start working on yourself. A lot of people, what they do is they bury these unresolved emotions and they pretend like they're happy, and you can tell they're not happy when they start talking about that experience and they're still triggered by it. Now you have recognized where you stand in the healing process. Now it's time for you to learn what self-love truly is. Because to me, self-love is self-discipline. It's the ability to always choose what's best for you, no matter how hard it is, so you can grow to be your best self. And that's why most people would choose to lie to themselves, because in reality, self-discipline requires a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, and 100% accountability. It's easier to pretend like you're happy, to hide, to bury your unresolved emotions, than to look yourself in the mirror and take full accountability for your life. One of the main reasons why self-love is not utilized correctly today is because we have become this softened culture, and that people can no longer take truth no more. And they have created these fake self-love movements and communities to protect themselves from taking accountability. I'll give you guys a perfect example. Physical health. I see a lot of people claim to love themselves or are on a self-love journey, but they are obese and overweight, and they do nothing to improve their health. For me, that's not self-love. And we live in this very toxic culture where we are empowering people to remain overweight or to remain obese in the name of self-love because we're afraid to hurt their feelings. If I tell a man or a woman that they're overweight and they need to make better health choices, it's called body shaming. And we do this in all areas of life when it comes to finances, career, spirituality, dating, happiness. And a lot of people hide behind self-love because they're afraid to put in the work and take full accountability that they're the problem and not the situation. So I do understand we're all going to go through our ups and downs. That's life. Nobody's perfect, especially when it comes to our weight, to our physical health. That at times we're going to be overweight, at times we're going to be obese. But I guess the main point I'm trying to make in this video is that I believe we should encourage people to remain there and stay there, all for the sake of self-love. Because I believe we have created this culture where we're encouraging people to be overweight, to be obese, and a lot of people are hiding behind self-love, and it's because we have created this culture, we're afraid to give people the truth and the reality and not be attacked or not be canceled by culture, by social media. That's why a lot of people are just allowing and also encouraging people to remain at their worst, especially when it comes to physical health. And I feel like that's one of the main problems I see on social media for both men and women. And one thing I always want to, I hate to say this, because this is something I see all the time from men and women, particularly women. It happens a lot more with women. I often see a lot of women who are overweight or obese, and they say things like this, like they'll say statements like, I don't need a man, I'm beautiful, I feel beautiful being obese and overweight. Number two, they'll say something like, if a man doesn't love you because you're overweight and obese, then that man is shallow and that's the wrong man for you. Or number three, they'll say something like, ladies, you know what, if a man doesn't want to accept you at your worst physical health when you're obese and overweight, then that man doesn't deserve you at your best. For me, when I hear statements like that, for me, I do understand that that's an emotional response for a lot of women because, that's like a coping mechanism or a defense mechanism. They want to justify the reason why they're overweight and obese to make themselves feel better because they have to live with their own reality of their own physical health. So for me, when I hear women like that, I understand that's an emotional response. But for me, I want to offer a different perspective coming from a man, but also I want to offer you guys a very more practical perspective. Because for me, like I told you guys earlier in the video, I truly don't believe that if you claim you love yourself in the name of self-love, for a lot of these women who are overweight and obese, but they claim to be on their self-love journey, or they have self-love on their bio, or they claim to live a self-loving life, I truly believe that you can't say you truly love yourself if you choose to remain at your worst. It doesn't matter if it's physical health, relationships, finances, career, happiness, love, spirituality. I truly believe, like I mentioned before, that self-love is self-discipline, is the ability to always choose what's best for you, no matter how hard it is, so you can grow to be your best self. So for all those ladies out there that are obese and overweight, but claim to love themselves, for me, I believe that it's delusional and it's nonsense. And for a lot of ladies who say things like this, I don't need a man to feel beautiful. I love my body. I love who I am, and I don't need to date nobody. For me, if you're overweight, obese, dating should be like the second or third priority. Your physical health should be your only priority, should be on your own focus, because it's your life. It's about your longevity. Why are you worried about other men? Why are you worried about attraction or dating or attention when the number one main concern and problem in your life right now is your health? It doesn't matter if you find love, it doesn't matter what happens to you, but if you don't have your health is your own vehicle in life. Without it, then everything in this world is irrelevant. That's why one thing I always like to say is the number one resource or reason why we're wealthy, is because of life. Life is the most precious resource, because without it, we can't do anything. Number two, for a lot of ladies that say, what, I don't need a man. If a man doesn't love you because you're obese and overweight, then that's a shallow man. Now, I do believe part of that statement, because I truly believe that inner beauty, true beauty, comes from the inside, not from the outside. And I do understand there's a lot of shallow and judgmental type of men and women, but a lot of men out there that will never give you a chance because you're overweight and obese, because they don't care. They're more concerned about the physical part of the relationship, and they don't care about the internal part of the relationship. So I do understand that part. But I just want to put it out there that offer you guys this different perspective. There's a lot of good men out there, and the reason why you're not attracting a lot of men, because for a lot of men, especially the good intentions, the men that have the good intentions for you, they're not attracted to you, because when they look at you, they don't really care about your physical. What they care about is your ability to be a mother to their child. Because for me, if I see somebody that's overweight or obese, it's not even about being overweight or obese. For me, are you the best partner for me to be able to start a family with? And number one, if you're overweight and obese, for me, that scares me, because number one, I want to ask myself, do I want a mother to my child that won't be here for a long time, or always going to have health problems, right? So that's a big concern to me. I want to make sure that I don't have to become a single father one day because you're not willing to take care of your physical health. So that matters to me when it starts to not only date a partner, but also start a family. Number two, for me, I want a mother of my child that there's going to be a great example for my child. So if I see you that you're overweight and obese, that shows me your lack of discipline, that shows me your lack of work ethic, that shows me your lack of sacrifice and priorities in your life. And if that's how you treat your body, then I wonder what aspects of your life do you treat the same way, that you don't put in the effort, you don't have discipline in. Is that the type of mother do I really want for my child? And is that the type of mother that I want to teach my kids to build a foundation so they can live fulfilling and healthy life? So those are just some points I want to put out there for all those women out there that might say that all men are shallow if they're not willing to give you a chance or not willing to date you. And I'm just to give you guys the real hard truth. For a lot of men, a lot of the good men, especially a lot of the high value men, they just want, they don't really look for, of course, they don't really concern about the physical aspect of it. They're more concerned as the ability to be a great mother to their children, all right? And number three, for a lot of women out there, they'll say something like, if you don't want to offer, if a man is not willing to accept you at your worst, then you don't really deserve you at your best. And for me, when I hear something like that, I always want to offer you this perspective, because for me, what a healthy relationship is two people that truly love each other, that want to offer their best to each other. And for me, that you want somebody to come into your life and offer you their best, but you want to not only remain at your worst, but you want to offer your worst to that person. Because I truly believe if you truly love yourself, right? Of course, you're going to do what you need to do to improve your health. But if you truly love your partner, then you would want to offer your best. You would want to improve. You don't want to give them your worst. And for you to say that you want them to come in and give you their best, but you're willing to give them your worst, for me, that's very selfish. That's very toxic. That's a one-sided relationship, because that's what a toxic relationship is. An unhealthy relationship is one person is giving more than the other person. So just for all the ladies out there that think like that or say things like that, especially with overweight or obese, I just want you guys to see it from that perspective, right? That you should never want to offer your worst to the person you say you love. And every single person I love in my life, I always want to offer them my best. I never want to give them my worst. And the fact that you want to remain at your worst, but you want people to give you the best, for me, that's delusional and that's nonsense and that's very toxic. All right, that's it for today's video. Why self-love is the reason why you're not happy. I hope you guys got a lot of content, got a lot of value from this video. Like I told you guys before, everything I said on this video comes from the purest intentions, comes from my own perspective, and I'm not generalizing anyone. These are things that I see in today's culture, today's social media, why a lot of men and women struggle when it comes to self-love. So like I told you guys before, everything I say is out of love, just like your older big brother. I'm gonna keep it real, I'm gonna keep it funky, I'm gonna keep it honest, and I will never want to say what you want to hear. I'll always want to say what you need to hear, so you guys can move, grow, progress, and attract the happiness, love, success that you deserve in your lives. So have a blessed day. One love, mad respects, peace.